Wakenya wenzangu, this August, something big is happening. Chan 2024 is here, and Harambee Stars are ready to shine. Let us come together and support our boys as they fight for glory. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 and let's cheer our boys. Because when Harambee Stars win, Kenya wins. Twende kazi, Team Kenya, all the way.
These are not your ordinary forces. They are Special Operations Group, SOG Commandos. With highly specialized and advanced training, their job is to neutralize terrorists, both in camps and mobile. And in deep terror-prone areas, including Boni Forest. Combating terror this Sunday at 9 p.m.
A very warm welcome to the Lunchtime News. My name is Yambo. Helping me on the sign language is Byron Abule. We begin with our first story where a 23-year-old man who was shot in the head during the Sabasaba protests and died while receiving treatment at Kiambu Level 5 Hospital is the latest victim to be buried in Kiambu County. Mourners who attended the burial ceremony of Laban Mwangi called upon the end of extrajudicial killings of the youth occasioned by police brutality. The family of the deceased has called for justice for their son.
Mazishi ya Laban Mwangi yule alipigwa risasi na polisi wakati wa maandamano. Tuko mahali kunaitwa Dubeli.
Vijana tu wahurumiwe, hata ni wadogo 22 23.
Wachukue IDs, wachukue vitambulisho, wajiandikisha, ndio wajiandikisha kupiga kura, ndo hii serikali itakuja tukue ni sisi tumeichagua.
Now, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has cautioned politicians against casting aspersions and doubt on the newly reconstituted Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is the IEBC, ahead of the 2027 general election. He spoke during a Women and Youth Economic Empowerment in Kakamega County.
The Kenya Kwanza Brigade extended the government's economic empowerment program in the western region on Friday, pitching camps in Malava and Shinyalu areas of Kakamega and Busia counties. The Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi taking the opportunity to deliver a firm rebuttal to claims of a possibility in rigging of the 2027 general elections.
IBC itasimamia uchaguzi wa kila mtu kutoka kule mashinani hadi juu. Kwa hivyo nataka wale ambao wanajaribu kuleta porojo, let us not undermine the integrity of the IBC.
The reaffirmation comes amid the growing public unease over the integrity of the general elections, sparked by the recent statements from a section of politicians hinting at a potential vote manipulation.
Na mtu asijaribu kuweka matope kwa Mheshimiwa William Ruto kusema kwamba ati kura yake itaibiwa. Muache hiyo mtindo, muache hiyo porojo. Mheshimiwa William Ruto is not in the game of stealing votes.
Speaking separately at the Kabartegan Secondary School grounds in Bureti, Kericho County, during a similar empowerment program, a section of UDA-allied politicians has called for speedy investigations under the immediate apprehension of orchestrators and financiers of the recently witnessed anti-government protest, irrespective of their political status.
When you engage in criminality, whether you are a member of parliament, whether you are an impeached deputy president, you are a common criminal like any other criminal, and you will be arrested and charged before courts of law like any other criminal. Uko na mpango mzuri kushinda William Ruto. Kuja hapa Bureti utueleze, tusikie mpango yako ili tujue wewe unatosha.
Moving on, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has faulted opposition leaders who he says are promoting ethnic divisions and divisive politics. Speaking during a women empowerment program in Busende, that is in Matayos constituency, Kindiki said the opposition was running out of meaningful agendas for Kenyans, urging citizens to rally behind the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda aimed at uplifting livelihoods. His sentiments were echoed by Busia Governor Dr. Polo Twoma, who emphasized the need to shift focus from political wrangles to service delivery.
Mimi naona tukienda mbele tunaenda vizuri. Hiyo ni timu moja. Musalia Mudavadi hako, Wetangula hako, sisi sote tuko pale. Na timu ingine ni timu ya kugawanyisha taifa, timu ya ukabila, timu haina agenda. So wananchi watasagua na sisi tutaendelea kusukuma kazi kuipeleka mbele, tukijua ya kwamba kiongozi faida yake ni ile mambo ambaye amefanya kusaidia mwananchi, sio uchochezi, sio vita na sio mambo ya ukabila.
Serikali imechaguliwa baada ya miaka 5. Iliyoko sasa ni kufanyia wananchi kazi. Wewe mtu hawezi kukuweka pale umsaidie kazi na kazi yako wewe ni kutega yeye na kutega watu. Simuliona hata alikuja hapa Busia tukisema tujengewe stadium anasema hamuna shares.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has called for a review of the country's laws governing public protests to seal the loopholes that enables violence under the guise of peaceful protests. Wetangula argues that while Article 37 of the Constitution rightfully protects the freedoms to assemble, demonstrate, picket and even present petitions, this right has been grossly abused over the years. Speaker Wetangula, who spoke during a women's economic empowerment program held in Kabuchoi, that is in Aldai constituency, condemned the recent wave of violent protests across the country that have left a trail of destructions, loss of lives and many other injuries or maimed.
Look at the law again. The Constitution gives everybody the right to demonstrate, to picket, to present petitions to officers of authority. Kule Uingereza, ukiitisha maandamano, the government holds you responsible for the consequences. Na tunataka hiyo pia ikuwe hivyo hapa. Wale wanaambia hawa vijana wetu kwenda kupiga mawe nyumba za watu, watoto wao wako ngambo.
Over 200 special needs learners at a school in Nairobi are set to acquire hands-on skills to invest in sustainable food production. This follows a partnership with a non-governmental organization to set up a learning and production garden, a food forest and rearing of layers for eggs production. The initiative is aimed at enhancing the institution's food security and equipping learners with knowledge on climate change adaptation. Opucho Chemtai has the details.
As part of the ongoing efforts to implement competency-based education in schools for learners with special needs, a non-governmental organization has launched a permaculture system of agriculture to inspire over 200 learners at Treeside Special School in Nairobi to acquire skills in sustainable food production.
Because now for this garden, as small as it looks within the greenhouse,
Per peak harvest, they are supposed to get 20 kilograms of vegetables per peak harvest. So that's a lot and enough to actually feed the school.
There's something that young people are looking for, which is independence. They're looking for meaning. They're looking for purpose. They're looking for a way to change the world. And I think that agriculture is absolutely the way to do that.
The project is posed to address food security and impact climate change knowledge to learners.
We want to be able to introduce also a system that is very easy. They don't have to replace the soils within the bags that you've seen. So we use what we call pumice, which is something that is already nutritious within the entire cycle. So they don't have to replace that.
When you're talking about food security, it's not about land. You can actually get to food security by using spaces.
We shall not be limited to thinking that we only need to know about books. We can do practical agriculture, become self-reliant, and we gain a gainful living.
Can we partner and take this to all the other schools? Because with an initiative like this, under the strategy for 15 billion tree growing program, 30% of the targeted trees are actually fruit trees.
It has infused modern technology and indigenous knowledge to boost sustainability and conserve the environment.
The system is set in a way that it has an automated drip irrigation system that waters the entire garden for just 10 minutes every day, and that is enough water to water the whole system.
But to change the mindset of the elderly here in Kenya, that is the hard part. That's why we have to work now with the youngsters to inspire them that, they change their mindset.
Under the project, the school received a learning and feeding garden, a food forest, and 250 chickens for egg production. Opicho Chemtai for Lunchtime News.
Thank you, Opicho Chemtai, for that report. We look at news making headlines in the counties where a woman has died on the spot while another is nursing serious injuries after being hit by a speeding truck on the Montezuma-Kabati stretch of the Thika Kenol Highway. According to residents, the spot has become a black spot with many lives lost in as many months. These and more stories in our County News Roundup.
According to eyewitnesses of the road accident, the two women who are sisters were crossing the road to join family members and friends who were waiting at the Montezuma-Kabati morgue to have the body of their relative released. And in Kakamega County, police officers in Kakamega Town have launched an investigation following the discovery of a body of a 44-year-old man. The deceased, who have since been identified as Geoffrey Meta, was brutally murdered by beheaded and his body dumped along the Sicharai River.
Tunashuku hii soko yenye iko hapa karibu, majambazi wanajificha ndani, wametujengea soko, wamekataa kuingiza nafasi iko ndani, majambazi wanajificha ndani. Tunashuku hata hao watu wametoka hapo wakakuja kuua huyu mwenzetu alikuwa anatoka kazi usiku.
Elsewhere in Meru County, a section of North Imenti residents have launched a bid to recall RMP Rahim Dawood, alleging failure to exercise proper oversight in Parliament.
Afanyi kazi ya oversight, mpaka sasa hivi kuna hizo abductions, kuna killings, na mpaka sasa yeye kama mbunge wetu wa North Imenti hajatoa statement yoyote ya kukondemn ile mambo ambayo inaendelea ya abductions na pia kuua vijana ambao vijana wameuliwa na wale wengi wako abducted hasa wako missing mpaka sasa hivi.
And air quality experts have called on partnership to achieve clean air in African cities. Stakeholders underscored the urgent need for collective action to address the growing challenge of air pollution.
So it is important to have this kind of a forum to involve all the necessary people to ensure that we work together as a team to address issues related to air pollution.
Finally, in Trans Nzoia, a parents' lobby group is fighting for better welfare of learners in school, accusing leaders of failing to speak on issues affecting the education sector, especially on the emerging issues affecting transition to the new curriculum that have remained unresolved.
Sisi hatutaki kwenda kufanya, hatutaki tuseme tunangangana na serikali ama nini. Sisi tunataka kudialogue na serikali.
The Association of Real Estate Stakeholders, that is RESA, has introduced a set of new rules and self-regulation measures aimed at restoring investor confidence and ensuring professionalism within the real estate sector. Speaking during the association's annual general meeting and elections, where a new leadership was unveiled, RESA emphasized its commitment to creating a trustworthy environment for property investment. The move comes in response to rising concerns over fraudulent dealings and lack of accountability in some parts of real estate industry. Dr. Crispus Wachira, who was elected as the new chairperson, pledged to strengthen RESA's presence across the 47 counties and work closely with the government to tackle key challenges affecting the sector.
I want to promise Kenyans that with this team now in office, we are re-energizing, we are reactivating a number of things in the manner we are doing our business and in the manner Kenyans, whether within the country or without the territories, are investing their very hard-earned savings in real estate.
Kusudi letu ni moja na ajenda inakuanga kwamba tuzuilie watu wasiibiwe wakinunua mashamba ama wakinunua nyumba.
We have got a vision and a mission to capture the minds of the Kenyans who thought maybe all the real estate companies are conmen. We want to clear to the people that we have really come to make sure that everybody has his rights has been acquired.
After this, I will give the new leadership a chance.
On that note, we take a break, but I'll be back with more, including sports. Stay with us if you can.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital. The men and women in boats, their core mandate to defend and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Kenya. Their bravery knows no limits.
Make a man go through the wall without breaking the wall.
Laziness, it is not in our vocabulary.
But what are their stories, their tales? Military Tales, every Saturday at 9 p.m. with Ben Troy Njoe.
Mimi ni Salim Mvurya, waziri wa masuala ya vijana, uchumi bunifu na michezo. CHAN imewasili Kenya. Na waomba wa Kenya wote tuweze kujitokeza kwa wingi, tuweze kushabikia timu yetu ya Harambee Stars. Tiketi tunaweza kulipa shilingi 200, 500 na 1000. Na CHAN iko KBC Channel 1 na KBC Radio Taifa. Tukutane Kasarani. Kenya ni nchi yetu. Harambee Stars ni timu yetu na sisi ni wazalendo wa Kenya.
Welcome back. We continue the news where Homa Bay Teaching and Referral Hospital has issued a 7-day notice for families to claim 14 unclaimed bodies lying in the facility's morgue. The hospital cited congestion and the high cost of preserving the bodies as key reasons behind the move. The hospital's chief executive officer, Dr. Odwar Vincent, said the facility had received the bodies from police officers across several sub-counties, with most being victims of accidents or having been retrieved from Lake Victoria. 7 of the bodies were retrieved from Beta, 6 from Dewa, and 1 from Suba South. Those with missing family members have been urged to visit the facility for possible identification, as a court order is in place to dispose the bodies that will not have been collected within the specified time.
Of whom we have 8 males, we have 3 females, we have 2 which are actually skeletons, full skeletons, and 1, I think it was a fetus which was picked from Dewa sub-county also. The reason as why we are alerting the public is that we kindly request them they come identify, especially if you had your relative or your friend who went missing. Kindly come for identification, because we are planning to dispose them. We have received a court order allowing us to proceed with the disposal. So before that happens, we are giving the public 1 week to come over. They examine those bodies. If the suspect is one of them, they can go for proper identification, and subsequent they claim them.
At least 50 women leaders representing various groups across Kisumu County have been trained on financial management. The initiative, spearheaded by the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs and a private foundation, focuses on empowering the women to better manage SACCOs and cooperatives sustainably.
The women leaders who convened for the training are expected to cascade the knowledge to their respective groups, with the aim of accelerating transformation of small women groups into viable SACCOs in the region.
We want to ensure that there is a progress and that there is a progressive channel transition from just these women groups into SACCOs, so that they can be able to develop and bring a larger community into a more sustainable way.
The move is also aimed at creating a robust and financially stable and resilient economy driven by women folks in the micro enterprises.
Now from here we are supposed to go back and teach other women groups down there, so that they also teach other women groups to come up as a team to work together, so that we change, we transform their lives to become better leaders in the society.
Wakati ambapo kina mama wanakuja pamoja na tunasanya zile rasilimali zetu kwa pamoja, tunafanya kazi ile jukumu pia tunafanya kwa pamoja, tunapata ile fursa ya kusaidiana kubeba ile.
The leaders said this was a follow-up on the resolutions passed during the Nyanza International Investment Forum held last year. Lack of financial stability and collateral capability was listed as one of the major hiccups in access to credit and empowering women.
They have not registered as a cooperative. So whenever they give money, they don't realize the benefit. They don't get profit.
Achola Simon, Lunchtime News, Kisumu County.
Thank you, Achola, for that report. Energy Cabinet Secretary, that is Opiyo Wandayi, has reaffirmed the government's commitment in ensuring that more Kenyans are connected to the power by 2027. Wandayi, who spoke during the launch of 3 power projects in Kitui South and East constituencies, said Kitui County alone was allocated slightly over 2 billion shillings to connect over 15,000 households with power. 2 projects in Zombe, Kitui East, are expected to cost the government 34 million shillings, while the other one in Mutha, Kitui South, is expected to cost 17 million shillings. Speaking during the event, Kitui East Member of Parliament, that is Nimrod Mbai, pledged to have the region rally behind the government.
Bila kuacha sehemu yoyote ya nchi hii nyuma. Hiyo ndio mtindo na kauli ya Mheshimiwa Rais Ruto na serikali yake kuu. Hiyo haitoshi. Kama mjuavyo, mambo ya stima inagharimu pesa nyingi sana. Na pesa tena mwaka huu, hii mwaka financial year, tumeanzisha mwezi huu ya Julai. Mheshimiwa Rais Ruto vile vile ametusaidia kupitia bunge, tumepata pesa nyingine.
And still on matters power connectivity, hundreds of residents in the remote area of Mantina village, that is in Kajiado County, have benefited from the rural electrification program following their connection to the power grid. Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation Chief Executive Officer Dr. Rose Mkalama says they are keen on the use of mini-grids and standalone systems for far-flung regions to reduce the connection cost. He called on locals in remote areas to ensure they guard the transformers from vandalism.
In this area of Kajiado, Narok, we are having mini grids where we go to a place, we seclude it, and we give it its own grid. Some of it is connected to the national grid, but others are not connected to the national grid. The reason why we do this is because our responsibility is to reach everybody in this country, whether you are within the grid or away from the grid.
Tumepata stima, tuko na mwangaza, tunaona kila kitu. Hata ng'ombe zetu huaga fisi inakuja mpaka kwa boma. Lakini kwa sababu tumeweka stima mpaka nje, sasa hii fisi iwezi kuja kwa boma kwa.
To matters health, where over 4,000 residents of Watamu in Kilifi County have benefited from free chiropractic therapy, offering non-invasive treatment options, especially for people suffering from back pain, joint stiffness, and nerve-related disorders. The week-long medical outreach organized in partnership with local health officials saw hundreds of patients treated. Local leaders and health officials have lauded the initiative, saying it complements ongoing efforts to improve access to alternative healthcare. The team has, in the meantime, embarked on offering extensive training for chiropractic therapy in Watamu.
They wanted to open even a small institute where they can be train our Kenyans, and they can be open a small institute to be, they can learn and they can be a good doctor. Kenyan can be a good doctor.
We want to support the chiropractic presence in Kenya so that Kenyans can have access to a drugless way to help their body heal.
Kitu tunaomba hili zoezi lisiishie leo bali liwe litakuwa la kuendelea.
The county government of Nyandarua has officially handed over the JM Level 5 Hospital and the Ol-Kalou Stadium to the national government through the Ministry of Defence for completion. Speaking during an assessment tour of the projects, Defence Principal Secretary Patrick Mariru said the multi-million shillings initiative are expected to be complete by December this year. Nyandarua Governor Dr. Moses Kiarie Badilisha held the move as a major win for the county, adding that the hospital will improve access to quality healthcare.
So we have agreed on a program of work, a daily program of work, weekly program of work, monthly program of work until December. So by December, the stadium must, the hospital, JM hospital must be completed and must be handed over. We will station our military officers here in Ol-Kalou. They will be here supervising the work and working with the leadership here to make sure that what the president promised to the people of Nyandarua is done.
We thank the PS for being very proactive and energetic
He has come here several times, and the handles that were there are already cleared, and we have agreed that come Monday, now those sites will be running and moving, and therefore we expect the works to be completed within the right time.
We look at sports now, where the government has partnered with the county government of Kilifi to construct a modern 10,000-seater stadium in Kilifi County as part of a broader agenda to expand grassroots sports infrastructure and nurture talent across the country. The Kilifi Stadium project forms part of a wider national strategy to roll out modern, accessible sports infrastructure and position Kenya as a continental leader in sports development.
Another 10,000-seater stadium will be constructed in Kilifi County as the government continues with its promise to lay a foundation in talent development. Cabinet Secretary for Sports and Kilifi Governor Gideon Nungaro engaged in a high-level consultative meeting to come up with a plan to construct a stadium to international standards that will position Kilifi as a available host for regional and global sports events, while also providing a conducive environment for local athletes to train, compete and grow.
Tutaanza kama county kujenga kiwanja, na waziri watakuja watuone kama tumejikakamua vipi, nao watuwekee mkono. Kwa hivyo badala ya pesa yote iwe county ndio lazima tuitafute, watatusaidia kulingana na vile tunavyoendelea kwa kiwango fulani, ili ndoto yetu itimie kwa haraka zaidi.
The project will be undertaken under a co-funding model with the national and county governments contributing equally.
Kuanzia sasa wataalamu wetu waweze kufanya kazi pamoja ili waweze kuangalia yale mambo ya design na mambo mengi, lakini la msingi kabisa tumekubaliana kwamba tutashirikiana ili mradi huu uweze kuanza na uweze kukamilika.
Beyond the stadium, there are plans to explore the establishment of sports academies in Kilifi and other coastal counties to support early-stage talent development.
Justin Kiprop and Joyce Chepkemoi were crowned champions of the Uzalendo Half Marathon held on Saturday morning, that is in Eldama Ravine, Baringo County. It is in Baringo County, that is. The race attracted more than 150 athletes.
21-year-old Justin Kiprop from Elgeyo Marakwet County clocked an impressive 1 hour, 4 minutes and 34 seconds, finishing ahead of Stephen Kibet and Peter Tuitoek, who were second and third respectively. Kiprop acknowledged the challenging terrain, describing the hilly course as demanding, but credited his perseverance for securing the win.
Ilikuwa mlima. Race ilikuwa mlima, but I try my best according to my training. Na trainia mamlima hard course kiasi. So it was favor to me.
Tumeanza vizuri, lakini kufika 10k hapo hivi ndio at least milima ndio ilitulemea kidogo, lakini tulibalance. So mimi nilikuwa najua weakness yangu pale mwisho, so ndio maana nilikiki ya kwanza nikakuja hadi karibu 17k.
In the women's category, Joyce Chepkemoi took the gold in 1 hour, 14 minutes and 46 seconds, ahead of Gladys Koech, who finished second, while Catherine Peyoe took the final podium position. The race, organized to raise funds for education of needy students at Uzalendo School, drew attention for its noble cause, with event sponsor and Inua AI CEO Humphrey Muchuma praising the initiative as he highlighted its impact on education.
We should basically not leave any child behind. At Inua AI, we believe in empowering, supporting, young minds to be successful in their lives. We are here basically we want to donate close to 25 million Kenya shillings. That's what we are looking at from the initiative that you're seeing here. And I think if we establish this kind of initiative across the country, our lives will never be the same, especially for the young children. So for those who are really blessed and can give back to the community, it's a very good initiative.
More than 150 athletes took part in the race.
Thank you, Barclay Feder, for that report. Now, hosts Morocco and Nigeria sailed through to the semi-finals of the Women Africa Cup of Nations after easily beating their quarter-final opponents last night. Nigeria thrashed Zambia 5-0 at the Labi Zolu Stadium, while Morocco stunned Mali 3-1 at the Rabat Olympic Stadium as they both reached the last four of the tournament in Morocco.
Come again. This is an easy chance to get the opener.
Ibtisam Ijraidi scored a brace while Kenza Chappelle added a third as Morocco reached the last four of the Women Africa Cup of Nations on home soil with a 3-1 win over Mali. Aissata Traore had Mali's consolation in the net at the Rabat Olympic Stadium.
Aissata Traore scores. Mali get a consolation.
At the Labi Zwali Stadium, Nigeria were unstoppable as they made clear the intent of lifting the cup by thrashing Zambia 5-0 with Osinachi Ohale, opening the scoring as early as the second minute. Esther Okoronkwo, Chinwendu Ihezu, Oluwatosin, Dehemin, and Folashade Florence added the other 4 goals, cruising them to the semi-finals.
Well, in that story by Barclay Feather puts a cap on the Lunchtime News. Thank you as always for your time and your company. My name is Marie Yambo, and of course helping me on the sign language was Byron Abule. Good afternoon.
Hii kwenye Mkulima tunaungana na wanafunzi wa shule ya upili ya Mwiki Secondary ili tuweze kujua manufaa ya kilimo mseto.
Mimi sababu ya kufanya agriculture ni kuna anko yangu alikuwa anafanyanga business na kanikaje nifanye agriculture. Inasaidianga.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi hii saa 10:30 ili upate mseto kamili wa kilimo hapa KBC Channel 1.